Welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast.
If you don't make mistakes, you won't learn.
With your host, Corey Winfield.
You know how fish is bad if you can't put it on pizza?
With special guest, Mitchell O'Brien.
I really hate to do this to you guys, but I really have to go to the bathroom really bad. I just can't hold it anymore.
Got your ass.
It is the 217 Recovery Podcast. It is the 12th of February, 2025. My name is Corey Winfield.
I am Mitchell O'Brien.
The only man to leave our podcast because he had to use the restroom.
I was going to say it more explicitly, but it was only a matter of time until you got that drop. It really was.
Yeah. Really was. And the drop is now forever.
Yeah.
And it's an intro, so thank you for that, Mitchell. It's been a minute since we've done a podcast as 217 Recovery. It's been a minute since you and I have done a podcast. In general. You know, last podcast was Halloween?
I think so.
Yeah, because you have your redacted podcast, which you put on hold for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, we were going to start something new, but I just don't know where that direction is going. So,
yeah, and then our Recovery Dads podcast we haven't done in 18 months or something.
Dads are busy.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, and we're super busy here at 217 Recovery, and you're driving now, and you're on the road, and it's just, Tuesdays was our day for Recovery Dads, but now Tuesdays I actually have to go be a dad because Marnie wants to work and stuff.
And I do short rides on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just when can we get all of this together again? And maybe when the sun comes out at 6 a.m., it'll be a little easier to get up. But sometimes it's hard, man. It's dark. Dark till 8 o'clock sometimes. It's like, man. Before we would do it before the day started. So we get here at 8, do a podcast. Now get here at 8, it's still dark. And you're like, don't really want to do none of that.
I don't know. I kind of like that. I don't like waking up in the morning. But I don't mind the darkness of the morning. I don't know. Yesterday, I started the day in the dark in the company vehicle. And then I ended the day in the dark in the company vehicle.
Gotta squeeze what we can out of you guys,
I
man.
know. It was a good ride.
12-hour day. Psh, why aren't you working 14?
Yep. Leaving early today.
Nah, but it's kind of cool, though, that you knew you had to take a break from your podcast to just hold on. Let me revamp this. Let me figure it out. And it'll be at a time of my choosing. There's no pressure on you, and you use it to kind of help you through, kind of help you get something off your chest, to be creative, to create something. And podcasting is fun that way too. And people in early recovery, I'll tell you that the podcast helped me. Some people are like, oh, there's different pathways and da-da-da-da-da. What pathway did you choose? And I'm like, podcasting.
They're like, what?
I'm like, that's not a work. That's not a pathway. What's for me, man? I had to stay sober because we started out, we were doing them 4 days a week. I was in a sober living home. So my requirement, A, was to stay sober already. But to do them at night, I had to stay sober all day to do them 4 times a week. And it really did help me. And it helped me vent, helped me get stuff off my chest. And you can go back and listen to the early episodes that are on our app. You can get the app. It's free. But it's laid out pretty easily there for you. You can go back through the years, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2024. Yeah, to go through the archives and listen. I tell people it's like a soap opera almost. It is. I mean, if you go back, you can you hear the stuff that I was talking about. Hey, we want to do this, we want to do that. And it's pretty cool that some of the stuff has kind of made it. And we've accomplished some goals, and the make a movie part, I still want to. I hope to be shooting next month. So I have to put the finishing touches on the script of it, but and you're going to help me with that. You at least agreed to at one point.
Yeah.
But that'll be fun. I think
it'll be mostly improv. But
I'm like, that's not following the storyboard, Mitchell. You're like, why are we doing this different than what we normally do? Then we just grab it and shoot it. Because I paid money to take this film class. They told me I had to do it like this. Yeah, that's how you make the movie. No, but in January, you snuck it by us. You weren't walking around talking about how many years you got. You just got them. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Because Justin got his 5 years and he was upset I didn't get him a coin. And so.
Yeah, we all heard about it.
Yeah. So then I was like, wait, Mitch was in January. And I was like, Mitch, I sent you a message the other day. I didn't get you a coin or anything, but congratulations on your 4 years.
Thank you. I don't necessarily track it like some people do,
Right.
and I don't know the exact day either, which is, I think, kind of rare in recovery. I've met a couple other people that are like that, but most people know the exact day or time,
Right.
where it was. I just know it was in January. I'm pretty sure it was in early January, around the 3rd or the 4th of 2021. So I have this weird, and people tell me I overthink it, and I probably do, but I don't track it because that wasn't attached to like a good thing,
Right.
the addiction part of it. And I know the sobriety part of it is the good thing, but I'm living a life of recovery, but I'm above that. I want to live a life of wellness, which is kind of how I organize it in my mind. And it's like, I don't want to just stay sober today. I want to be progressing in all of the aspects of life, all of them. So recovery is like a very important part of that puzzle, to the point to where like my whole life bottlenecked until I found recovery. So it's very important, but it's like, it's not the only thing. I want to make sure, and these could all be argued as part of recovery, but I want to make sure my mental health is tip top, my physical health is tip top, and just all of these different things. And just so I look at it more almost like recovery is under the umbrella of a life of wellness. And I kind of blog about that a little bit.
Which part would you say is the hardest so far to tackle?
Oh,
And maybe it's not the hardest. Maybe it's the most uncomfortable, or one you don't like.
I'm going to say mental health, but it's I had really, really, really bad avoidance habits and behaviors. And I'm still like battling those. But like after I got sober and I was dealing with mental health stuff, depression, anxiety, working on trauma with my therapist, that was one of the things that came up, is I was always just trying to avoid everything in the moment, to get it. And that's what drove me to drinking too, because that's what I was doing. I was avoiding the depression and the anxiety that I was having. I could grab a bottle and that feeling would go away almost immediately, but then it would be back the next day. So then I'd have to do it again. And we all know that snowball,
Mm-hmm.
So being able to actually stay disciplined in not having avoidance behaviors is, I guess, how I'm going to say it, is probably the most difficult part, because I would have, and I think you've been here for at least one of them, like panic attacks, full panic attacks when I had to make a call that I didn't want to make. We're talking about like, financial debt stuff. And it's like my whole body would like lock up and it'd be hard to breathe and I'd be having an actual panic attack. And it's like, but I've been living a life of avoidance behavior since I was a kid because of trauma and stuff like that. So it's like, that's probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, I think that's a normal one too. And that was a big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have problems with it, man. Like, I don't want to hear the answer that I've already created in my mind. Like, I already have it figured out in my mind how it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always bad for me. I always, and maybe this is something that people do, addicts do, I don't know, but I always think the worst outcome, like, oh, they're going to say no. And then so before I even ask them, I'm already like defensive and ready to defend my position of why they shouldn't say no, or whatever it is. And bills were tough, to open a bill. Oh my God, like I couldn't even do it. One time I had to bring my mail to my mother and it was like, Mom, I can't even open this. And she opened it. She's like, oh, it's $117. That's not bad. Okay. Well, I have 8. So it's pretty bad. I can't even go drink this problem away,
Yeah.
And I remember when she opened it and she called them for me because I'm like, I can't pay that. I don't know what to do. And she did something and got something figured out. And she's like, that's all you had to do. For someone who's sober, sure. I'm sure that would be easy to do. But for me, and the anxiety from not drinking, like I just remember feeling that whole ball of just, and just, I'm so glad I don't have to do it anymore.
Angsty and stuff. And I still kind of have to do that. I haven't, gotten myself out of all the debt and everything and medical stuff, but it's a little bit easier.
And at first, maybe I started trying. I remember people would tell me, oh, call 211. They'll help you. That's funny. Because I called them and they wouldn't help me. They told me, oh, well, you're a male with no kids, so have fun. Good luck. Maybe go to a church or something.
Yeah.
But my electric's getting shut off. And like you said, I needed a bill. I have the shut off notice right here. Okay. Well, maybe if you bring that to a church or something, what church do you belong to? I'm like, none. Like, damn it, and so that would send me in another spiral. So when I would see that, like, I just knew there was no help out there for me. So then that added to the anxiety. And if I just left that over there and don't know how much it is.
Yeah. If you don't look at it, it's not a problem, right?
Just don't know how much it is. Don't really know when it's getting shut off. And sometimes I would look to see when it was getting shut off just so I would have a little heads up. But yeah, then it was off to the liquor store with whatever little money I did have to drink that away.
Yeah, because then in 20 minutes, you're not going to have to feel it anymore.
Yeah.
Until tomorrow.
Yeah, and the next day you wake up and it's even worse. It's like you're going down the stairs or up the stairs. Either way, you're going this direction that you don't want to go. And it's just like, But the only way to forget it is to go get some more.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you run out of money there, then you're really scrounging because you don't have power anymore. And now you don't have money. Liquor. And thank God that I did have family. There's some people, and you've met them too, who are in early recovery or trying to be in early recovery, and they have nobody.
Yeah,
like family, like mom, dad passed away, don't have brothers, or maybe brothers and sisters have died or moved away or want nothing to do with them. Like they have nobody. And I feel for those people. I really do. And that would be hard to lose a parent. And then to have to go through all of this alone, like that'd be tough. I mean, ultimately we have to go through it alone, like our parents or family, whoever, they're not doing it for us, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and I think that was what my last blog I wrote was kind of about too, was your family's not always going to understand where you are because I was talking with a client. And they're talking about how their mother is still very critical of them. And I just got a chance to share some of my story. And I was like, well, my mom was there for all 16 years of my heavy alcoholism. So when Mitchell pulled out another 6 months of sobriety, because I'd only got 6 months, 3 months, 9-month bout of sobriety before this time, like that was just Mitchell's next time being sober for a while. But it wasn't until I proved and got more long-term and got into the therapy, got into healthier mental health practices and behaviors to where, and then that time under your belt too, the longer you go. And then I got a little bit, I had to kind of do it for myself because people were being critical, but I got off the Vivitrol shots by myself and I got a certain amount of, I waited 6 months to tell anybody. And so I'm a year and a half sober now. That's twice as much as the longest I've ever had in my adult life at that time. And then people start to go, oh, okay, this is different. What I shared with the client was they're not healing at the same pace you are. They're not getting the therapy you are. They're not connected to the recovery community you are, probably. They're not going to the meetings you are. They're not in this like you are. So they're healing at just a little bit of interaction that they get from you. So it's going to take more. So you have to have as much grace with your loved ones or friends than, as they do for you. Yeah. So it's tough.
And sometimes you'll still get it. And that's a good way to put it, like with their each interaction with you, okay, that's how they're healing and that's how they're growing. Because sometimes, my mom will still throw it out there. Oh, you're just No, I just don't want to talk right now, or I'm just busy right now, or like my life is pretty crazy, and it's a good crazy, but she doesn't see all that stuff. She just knows. Well, I never got a text or a picture with Parker's that he's teething now. Like I had to find out the long way or the last one or whatever. It's like, okay, well, sorry, I didn't write that one down, but I send pictures all the time, like but sometimes, or I'll have an attitude about something, and who knows what I'm really mad about or what I'm dealing with, but she'll take it the wrong way. And then it's like, well, see, Corey, you're still not used to being sober. And it's like, no, you just don't understand what I'm going through right now, and
you don't just get sober and then have all of life figured out,
Yeah.
And there was a part of that you mentioned. What was it? I lost it. But yeah, it's really similar to that. Oh, it's what I was going to say is the avoidance behaviors, not opening the bill, mail. So whatever that is, you get that same, you don't just get good at it one day. You don't talk to your therapist about, okay, you have to have discipline and actually do this stuff and then get good at it. You're still going to have that panic attack.
Yeah.
But the more times it comes up, the easier it gets. And it's the same thing as, your loved one healing at a different pace as you. The longer they see you, the more healthy you are around them, eventually it kind of kicks in. It's really similar.
And speaking of families,
yes,
is a good segue here. We are going to include families at our next Recovery Stories event.
I saw something, but I haven't been able to talk to you about it.
Yeah, Recovery Stories 5 is happening in Traverse City, Michigan.
Where is it happening?
At the Grand Traverse Event Center on the 27th of March. And our Message of Hope speakers, very excited about Jay Burton.
Oh, yes.
And Paul Bach.
Yes.
They're going to do it's more of an in-depth, 25-minute long kind of thing. And then our Recovery Stories, we have one locked in, Adam Newth.
Okay.
And we're still looking for one more. Still waiting to hear if yes or no on that. And then we're going to include 2 families.
I have a really good one that I'm trying to talk into doing it.
Nice.
He's very scared. So I shouldn't have said scared, but
he's avoidance.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I'll have to have that conversation.
Tactics, yeah. Like, get your ass up there.
I was like 3 minutes, man. Like,
yeah. And if you missed the last one, you can watch them online. All the videos are up there. Kim, Russ, me, Jesse, and Marnie and Chris Goss. They were the message. Marnie and Chris Goss were the Message of Hope speakers. Marnie had to cut her short because our belts ran long. I did like 10 minutes.
Well, and the MC wasn't very timely.
Yeah, and speaking of the MC, it was you, Mitchell. You were the MC. You were going to come back from a break and then take another break. And I was like, no, get it going now. But I just so happened to have some audio from the event. And, the audio was so much better than the other ones because we actually ran the mic to our board.
Yeah.
And so the audio was just amazing. And we got some drops here. And I was hoping maybe you could explain them. So let's just go ahead and play the first one here. This is one of my favorites, actually.
All right, everybody. We're not about to start yet. So if anybody needs to hit their vape real quick or smoke a cigarette, this is the time to do it. We'll be starting shortly. This would be a good one for the beginning of the podcast.
Everybody, I almost put it on there.
So I'm fat.
Okay. Oh,
did you know that?
I didn't.
No,
that's not how you identify.
You don't see people as their stereotypes. I understand that. All right, everybody. And so that's only like 4 or 5 stairs, but for a big fella,
it's 3.
I don't even know.
We're exaggerating the steps.
Big enough guy where it feels like 5 or 6. Could be 7.
Okay. Well,
so I would get to the top of the stairs and have to speak, and I would immediately be out of breath. So I'm like, hey, trying to. I should have sang the national anthem right there. We're not about to start yet. So if anybody needs to hit their vape real quick or smoke a cigarette, this is the time to do it. We'll be starting shortly. You can hear those. I'm trying to get oxygen.
All right. Maybe this one, you can explain this one then.
So I want to thank them for letting us be able to do things like this, to have awesome. Yes.
To have awesome.
Well, people started clapping, so I was trying to go with the clapping.
I think
and
you
the
were thinking
applause.
NMRE, who actually were funding the event.
And then whatever I called Steve's Smoking Barbecue, which I can say it now, but I couldn't.
You call it Smoking Steve's barbecue.
Smoking
Like,
Steve's.
oh, no.
That's a recovery event. Yeah.
That's where we're at in life.
Well,
I do have a couple more. I
yeah.
thought.
Yep. I was excited to hear that you said that Justin was emceeing this year's or this next one. The girls from Phoenix Hall over here. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, and Phoenix Hall is a treatment center from it's addiction treatment services, but they call it Phoenix Hall, and that's where the women go. But listen to the excitement in Mitch's voice here.
The girls from Phoenix Hall over here. Yeah. Awesome. You're here. Everybody. I did the same thing for Dukoski.
Did you?
I sound very flamboyant.
and then there's Harbor Hall is here too. Let's listen how you welcome them.
But first, I wanted to give a shout out to the boys at Dukoski Hall that are here. Everybody give them a round of the hall.
Give them a round to the hall. Yeah. So it wasn't Harbor Hall. It was Dukoski Hall.
Yeah, but first, I wanted to give a shout out to the boys at Dukoski Hall that are here. Everybody give them a round of the hall. Round of the hall. The thing that's really happening is I'm having a good time.
You are.
And my brain obviously doesn't work. You said that to somebody today and they're like, win for this game, obviously. Thanks a lot, Mitch. I was like, all right, everybody. Yep. Everybody. I need a handicap ramp.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to roll up there like what's her name did, Mary did.
Yeah, Mary didn't even use the steps at the first one. She just went for the complete different side of the stage. Everybody else is going and just flops up there. And I'm like, what? And she got done. She just jumps down like Rambo. And like, what are you doing?
Breaks her hip. But I was thinking about going full Chris Farley if you have me do it this time.
Okay.
Just like going and doing the same thing, but like running and just being very animated.
Right. Hey, glad you made it out today. We're selling shirts out of the van down by the sidewalk.
If you don't live a life of recovery, you'll be living in a van down by the river.
Seriously, there's the Boardman River's over there, and that's where people live. You'll be down there by them. Pull your head out of your ass. And what do they say? Pull your big boy pants up, or I don't even know what they say.
Pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Which, recovery doesn't work that way.
No.
There was a dinner we went to yesterday for before, during, after incarceration. And Marnie was there and we brought Parker, and she was talking about the recovery friendly workplace thing that we do, which more details on that at 217recovery.com.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a gentleman there that he was like, oh man, you guys do such great stuff, blah, blah, blah. And he wants to help us. And we'll see if that's going to be a thing. But if you do want to help us or support us, we would appreciate it. Kind of in a vulnerable time right now. So very much appreciate it. But 217recovery.com, there's a link where you can support us. And the things that we do, we're really looking into maybe opening a recovery cafe. Mm-hmm. Marnie's kind of working on that, and we're just trying to see, about funding. And I think it would be a beautiful place, though. I really do. And I think that the recovery community needs it. I know there's like an NA bar or something around here where they serve mocktails, which, being a person in recovery and alcohol being my drug of choice, I'm not really offended by it. But it does do something to my soul where I go, wait a minute. So if we're in here doing fake cocaine, like we're using, fake needles, like they would throw me in jail. They would put a red X on me, and they would, what do they call it?
Blacklist?
Ban you or cancel you or something.
Yeah.
Like they would have so many people pissed off if I made a flyer. Hey, we're going to have fake heroin night at the recovery center. People would be pissed, and I'm saying it's the same thing. but because someone didn't have a problem with alcohol that they think it's cool. I don't know. But to me, I'm not going to try to drink a fake beer. I'm not going to try to drink a fake martini, so I kind of look at it the same. Like, why would they think that that's okay, I guess? I mean, and people can do whatever the hell they want, really. But I'm just saying, like,
it's a slippery slope. What you're drinking fake something one day, but you're going to have a shit day. And doing stuff like a dry bar where there's mocktails, to me, just feels like the concept of being a dry drunk. You're not changing the problem. Right. You're masking it, removing an ingredient.
I'm going to go drink fake stuff at the places I used to go and drink real stuff and try to meet somebody I'm doing the same things. It's just I'm missing one ingredient. And then you go home and you strike out. I didn't meet anybody. I was trying to, pick up a date or something.
Oh, and there's a liquor store on your way home.
Yeah, and guess what? The reason why I didn't pick up homegirls because I wasn't drunk. I need to take the edge off. I was too nervous.
Social lubricant.
So next time I'm just going to drink a little before I go. I mean, dude, there's so many excuses, and it's playing with fire for people. And this, for me anyway, it would be playing with fire if I was faking like I'm drinking.
I really like the cafe, like coffee shop feel idea, because it'll be a place for people to hang out, a place for people to have meetings.
No fake drinks, no fake cocaine, no fake heroin, no real heroin, no real cocaine, no real alcohol.
Only drug we're dealing is caffeine.
And that's a big one.
Yeah. But it'll be a place where, organizations can come and have like board meetings and we'll have sports watch parties, and
we can do the podcast there and record it.
Yeah, we'll have our own corner of the building. That's our podcast set.
That'd be sweet. People can come watch it in person.
Yeah.
Watch the hilarity ensue. But there's a lot of great things that we have planned for. So hopefully that does manifest itself. And I know there's a lot of people in the community that are just like, wow, like that's great. If you guys could do that, that'd be awesome. We're on board. We will support you.
This is the community for it too. It's big enough. There's a good recovery community. There's enough of the people that want that, Yeah. And you're going to get people outside of that community too, which I think is good.
And I want to help people with eating disorders, people with gambling disorder, like sex. There's so many things that people need help with. And a lot of them are afraid to reach out. Like we held some gambling meetings here at first, and then we found out that people with gambling disorder don't want to be known as also a person with a drug substance use disorder. And a lot of that is, they say that, I want to say it's like 80% people who have gambling disorder have a substance use disorder. And when your mom or family members, whoever came at you with, Mitch, you and your drinking, didn't you go into denial mode too? So like, it's kind of like
for over a decade.
Yeah. I know people who flat out have a problem and they're just like, nope. And until they can at least say, yeah, I have a problem, there's nothing I can do for them. So I just sit back and watch them like, well, I'm here if you need me. But that first step is for real. And they have to admit that they have a problem that they want to change. Otherwise, you might as well talk to a wall. But imagine having both of those. And I'm sure we have, if you want to really break it down, like you could say sugar, for me, is still another vice of mine, or an addiction.
Well, and sugar can be actually addictive, but there's, like, for me, it's not just sugar. It's, as soon as I quit drinking, I started emotional eating, and I did that when I was younger too. So it's like, it's something that I deal with as well. You gotta be, I gotta be doing something if I'm stressed out or depressed or anxious. It's just like, I'll start vaping way too much or eating way too, and I just gotta be self-aware of that now. But that's all part of living a life of recovery, is having that self-awareness, staying sober so you can see and feel what your body is going through to get yourself to that life of wellness that I was talking about before. self-awareness is a huge part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think that anybody who's going out on the weekend having mocktails, I don't really want to upset anybody, but I just don't feel like that's coming from a place of self-awareness. I really don't.
Yeah. It's playing with fire for me. It would be like, I'm not going to pretend that I'm drinking something. Yeah. And we're not going to have that at our place, like I said.
Yeah.
But, and if other people want to go out and pretend they're drinking, I don't have a problem with alcohol, it's fine. Yeah, do what you need to. I'm just saying, for me, you won't find me around there.
Yeah. And
I think more people are like me in that case than not. And so I think opening this place would be really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just come have a Diet Coke, man. You don't have to pretend that there's rum in there.
Yeah. A lot of opportunity there. There really is.
Pour a little glass with some ice in it. No, this is just a big old glass, and you got a big old Diet Coke. Enjoy it.
Give me a Diet Coke on the rocks.
Yeah. Put them little red straws in there.
And an umbrella.
Now, did you hear that they are putting a new label on liquor bottles?
No. What is this nonsense?
You didn't hear?
No.
Surgeon, I'm supposed to do an interview, some news station sometime. They wanted to talk to me about it. And I said, okay.
No, I get sent out on 12-hour rides and don't ever speak to anybody.
Yes. 12. I thought they were supposed to be 14. Slacking.
That was my own fault.
No.
Actually, I scheduled that one from start to finish. So.
No, they put a new label on liquor, and I'm assuming beer too, but to let everybody know it causes cancer.
Oh. I thought you were going to say, because don't they say something about how it's dangerous for pregnant women?
Might be.
I thought you were going to say they were adding trans men or something.
Oh, jeez. No.
Trans men, be careful if you're pregnant.
Yeah. No, that's that it causes cancer. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, as I'm like getting my pancreas checked out and convinced that I have pancreatic cancer. I'm like,
2025, we're acknowledging this.
I just put causes death, real early too. Like, if you want, I almost didn't even make it to my 40s, Mitch. That's sad.
I almost didn't make it to my 30s.
And to think that we were at nope, don't got a problem. I mean, at that point, I kind of knew something.
When my heart
wrong.
stopped on the stretcher at the hospital, I was in my late 20s. Like, that was pretty close to the finish line for me.
No, if they only had that cancer label sooner.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's funny. But what's not funny is, like, if you walk into, and this is Michigan, so I don't know how it is in other states, but you walk up to a counter at a convenience store. Guess what you're not getting? Cigarettes, vape. You will not even be able to touch it. It's behind a glass. It's just, you can't access it. Right next to the Mentos, though, you can look up and, there's some shooters. Just right there. 100 of them right there on display. Just put them in your pocket. And I was at this thing yesterday that I was talking about, and they were talking about vaping and how this school was so bad that kids don't even go to the bathroom because the bathrooms just reek of vape. And I'm like,
did it smell good?
What happened with a bathroom monitor? I mean, people used to smoke cigarettes back in my day, like they would just go outside because it was easier.
Why does this bathroom smell like mango? I'm not coming back.
Well, like, why wouldn't they put someone in the bathroom then? I don't even understand how that's a big deal, but people act like, vaping is taking over. And okay, there's kids that are vaping, but they're not buying it at the store.
Right.
There's like a guy sitting somewhere who doesn't care, but 99% of vape shops are not going to sell to a minor. They're going to tell them to leave, but here it is. They can walk up and get some cancer from alcohol
for free.
Yeah. And they can steal it. They can open up the cooler, open up the door to the cooler. Nope, not going for Diet Coke, going for one of these magical looking drinks that are awesome looking. Let's get one of these.
Back in my day of the vape shop, usually if you suspected somebody of being too young, you just asked for their ID. And every single one of them left it in their car.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd say, I'd be right back. This happens so many times.
For real, bro?
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
I left it in the car. And then they forgot that they wanted a vape or something after that. It's like, okay, get out of here, man.
Yeah.
I never got to take anybody's ID because we had a stack because we would keep fake IDs. We had a way to scan them. I never got to do that because everybody would, I left it in the car. Like, oh, how many have you gotten taken?
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
good stuff.
Yeah, that's how it happens here in Michigan. But anyway, the Recovery Stories Message of Hope Part 5 happening, like I said, the 27th of March. If you're interested and want to be sponsor of some sort of the media, feel free to reach out to us and we'll give you a sheet.
And I'll say your name properly.
Yeah. Or maybe he won't, but you'll have that forever. It'll be fun. And congratulations again, Mitch, on your 4 years. And thanks for popping in to do an episode with me today. It's been way too long. And I feel like I had to get one out and just kind of get some off my chest. And, there was some other stuff that happened that we can get into later in a different podcast. But, that kind of put me in a downer mood. But, everything happens for a reason. And things aren't going to go your way 100% of the time. It's impossible. And it's how you bounce back from situations that build character.
God's got you covered.
Yep, he does. And it'll get down to the end sometimes and you'll be worrying and wondering, but at the end, man, God does have you. And I know he has us, for sure. So we appreciate the work you do, Jesus.
Yes.
And your daddy too. But thanks for listening. Check out 217recovery.com for more and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Listen to over 900 episodes on the 217 Recovery app that's free in your app store or online at 217recovery.com.